All right, guys, today we're going to take a look at this guy. This is a MintCraft high security shackle lock. I bought it in a local bicycle store. I think the price on this was right around 20 bucks, 21 bucks. Not bad. And I grabbed it, first of all, because it's not a bad price. This is just a delay mechanism like all bicycle locks. It's not going to keep people out. And yes, those of you who are going to talk about thermite and C4 and Semtex and blow torches, yeah, it'll get through. There's no question of that. But this is a picking channel, and that's really what I found interesting about this lock. First of all, still brand new in the package. You get a little bracket to mount it on your bike. If you look up inside of there, you can see all the screws and everything you need, and I think you can even see a couple of keys thrown in, but I don't think we need the stinking keys, hopefully. It is kind of an unusual lock. We expect to see a tubular lock, and that's exactly what this is. A 7-pin tubular lock. And so you might think, well, let's just grab a big pen or grab a piece of rolled up cardboard and then very quickly, get into this thing. And normally I would say, yeah, but this is one of the newer designs. I think Master Lock, to give them credit, came out with this new tensioning technique. So you might say, well, let me just grab this impressioning tool, slide this dude in there and get to it. So we slide it on there, but unfortunately this tool won't even insert into the keyway. And here's why. If you take a look at this tool, most tubular locks, let me grab my probe so I can point it out. Most tubular locks are tensioned on the center core. And so this little roll pin fits into a cutout on the center core to allow you to tension it. Well, you can only impression a lock if you can tension it. If there's no tension on the lock, the pins will never bind and a tool like this will never work. So those of you who say, well, let's just punch out that roll pin and then it'll slide in there. Yes. It will slide in, but you're not going to be tensioning the lock, and this tool will never work. So you're going to have ruined a good tool for no reason. Instead, there is no cutout. Instead, this is one of the newer locks that has the tensioner on the outside here, underneath this shielding. So they're quite awkward to tension. A lot of us have picked them you take a tool and kind of work it around there and hope for the best. But when you do that, you're blocking out one or two of your pins. You can't really access them very easily, and it's quite awkward to try to hold this, push up with one hand and then pick the other pins and then kind of move it to try to get access to the others without losing your tension. Quite a trick. Luckily, Lock Newbie and Sparrows have worked together to come up with this little tensioning tool. I've showed you this before. This is called the GOAT, and it has a double-sided tensioning tool. This is the side that works on regular tubular locks. So everything I'm getting ready to show you will work exactly the same on a normal tubular lock, except you would use this side. The other side has a little flag sticking out there, and this is what makes this tool unique. As far as I know, this right now, this is the only one of these tools on the market. So it slides into that groove, and that little flag goes beneath the shielding, and then the little tit on this side will then press against that center core, which doesn't move in this lock, and allows you to apply tension. A little awkward, but you can do it just like that, and then you can pick it. Another way this will work is you slide it on the other side of that core, slide it into the tensioner, and I actually prefer this way because you still get access to all the pins, and it's a little easier to hold in your fingers. Now, we have to pick this more than once, and I really don't know on this lock. On tubular locks, usually you have to pick it at least twice, sometimes 3 or more times. There are a few of them that actually you have to pick them all 7 times to get a complete rotation to let the actuator release the shackle. I don't know what it is on this lock. I haven't opened it. We're going to find out together. Because this may take a little longer, that's why I say this is not a bad tool. It's all about delaying criminals from getting into your lock. And if you have to pick a lock 3 or 4 or even 7 times, that's a heck of a delay. This is educational, so you see I'm even having trouble keeping it in the center of the frame, keeping everything focused. So what I'm going to do, I am going to put this in a vise, and I'm going to catch hell from guys no matter what I do. Some of you are going to say, well, in the field, we don't have a vise. We got to pick it in our hand, and you're right, you do. But if I pick it in my hand, it's going to go in and out of focus. It's going to focus on my thumb when I get up there like that. So I am going to put it in a vise just so you can see exactly what I'm doing as we pick our way through this MintCraft lock. So let me get it clamped up and let's get this dude picked. All right, guys, I think that's about as good of an angle as we're going to get here. It is locked, as you can see. It is not picked. And I'm going to try to take the tensioner and put them in there like this. So I know it blocks out a little of your view, but either way I go, it's going to block out part of you. This is just a little bit better angle and keeps my thumb, I think, out of your way a little bit better. For picking it, I'm going to use, it's an old Peterson. I think it used to be a Reach, or I really don't remember, but I did ground off the tip. Now notice it's perfectly flat. If you try to use, now the head on these pins are rounded, so if you try to use a sharp probe, it's just going to roll off either side. So it'll go a little bit quicker if you have a flat tipped pick. Another thing, you don't want to put any lube in these. The trick is to get these pins to bind. And on tubular locks, if you put in, like I love WD-40, but not on tubular locks. You want them as dry as you can get them, because you put lube in there, they just won't bind for you. So make sure that flag is on the tensioner. I'm against the side over here. Let me see if I can just start. I like to start at position number 1 and then just kind of work my way around the clock and just go back and forth. Looking for a binder. There's a click on 1. Okay, that was a click on 3. The nice thing about this goat is that you do have access to all the pins. You don't have to move it around at all. Okay, that was number 7, a little click on him. I got moderate tension on here, nothing too spectacular. Okay, that was number 2. He sat, a little click on 5. I felt a little click on 2 again. See what I mean about delay? It's all about delay. Here we go. We got that. Oh, I said it got a big. We got a fault set going. It partially turned, so we got to find one more, I think. He turned on me. Now that fault set, now I'm having trouble reaching 7. But no problem. That might be picked. And there it is. We got a pick. So there's position number 1. Now our tensioning groove is on right about here now, right about the 2 o'clock position. So let's check. Okay, he is not open. So again, I'm going to maintain tension using the side of the lock. And try to pick him again. Moderate tension. Now it's going to be a little different this time because the pins have popped into different holes. So just find a binder, give them a little shove. There we go. See, my tensioner is falling off a little bit. It's actually a little easier if you hold it in your hand. Okay, that was pin 3, or the one in the 3 position anyway. Okay, that was the one in the 7 position. And there we go. We had a second pick. And it just rotated. And now we have an open. We only had to pick this guy twice. What a tool. And that really makes it easier on these newer style tensioners. Now, in order to get that back, the key will not work. So I'm actually going to have to pick him backwards twice in order to realign the tensioner with this groove on the top. But doesn't matter. We got an open. So if you have a customer that's lost the key to his new style tubular lock, All you need is one of these guys, and you can get it in within a few minutes just by picking it twice. Were I to redesign this, I probably would make the actuator so you actually had to pick it at least 3 or 4 times to completely rotate that key to release the actuator from the groove on the lock. But at least we didn't need those stinking keys, right? Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. Stay safe. Stay legal.
LockLab, where the fun begins.